Let's make Wendy's chili. We start by chopping up some cube steak. This is about 2 pounds. Here at Lazy Man Test Kitchens, in a long lasting project to copycat Wendy's chili, I decided cube steaks best because it holds its firmness in the final product as Wendy's chili's beef does. And chop your onions into fairly good sized pieces, about half the size of your thumb, but don't include your thumb. Same deal with celery, but again, we don't need thumb parts in the ingredients. Wendy's will get sued. The reason for these bigger chunks is you don't want them to disintegrate too much in the chili. If you notice, Wendy's chili, you can taste those ingredients. They just don't blend into the sauce. Now, carrot is a different story. We're going for the flavor from the carrot more than anything. So we cut these into tiny slices so that they do disintegrate a bit and just give us that carroty flavor. Now, because Lazy Man doesn't make a grocery list sometimes, I forgot to get green pepper. But these little sweet peppers are going to do the trick. I like to cut them into these rings. They're kind of pretty in chili. It's also easier. This is optional, especially if you're weak-tongued. Dried chili pepper. If you've ever tangled with one of these in the wrong way, you know what I'm saying. So you cut that real tiny, because we're really going for just flavor here. We don't want to be chomping on these in the final product. No more than that. Like my dad said about wild turkey, if you don't respect dried chili peppers, they will not respect you. In your pot, on low, you see you got the big, everything's in there. We're going to do what they call saute, and we're not putting oil in because there'll be a little bit of grease in this beef that'll provide enough of that. While that's all doing its thing on saute on low covered, let's start making the seasoning. And folks, don't even think about making chili, anybody's recipe, without cumin. It's the king, the queen, and the royal family of chili. You do not have chili without it. Now get out your teaspoon, because one thing we've learned about our Wendy's chili copycat recipe at Lazy Man Test Kitchen is this has to be precise. These next ingredients, 1 teaspoon each. Chili powder, 1 teaspoon. Dried oregano, 1 teaspoon. Cayenne pepper, a really level teaspoon, not too much of that. You can get a little more carried away with the minced garlic. Don't tell. I'm going to do another half teaspoon. By the way, you may have noticed, I just pull these things off. It's easier to measure your seasoning without them. I don't know. I've never found the idea of too much cumin. I put 3 heaping teaspoons in there. You can just smell this stuff and you can tell it's all about chili. Teaspoon of salt. Black pepper. Get out your big boy tablespoon for sugar. Mix it all up. Mash down any clumps. Mission critical for Wendy's chili experience. Dark red kidney beans. Do not use anything else. 2 cans, 14.5 ounce or 15 ounce, whatever they say. 2 of these cans, diced tomatoes. Now here's what I find other Wendy chili copycat recipes not understanding. 4 cups of good old-fashioned tomato juice. And for when you add the tomatoes to the mixture, 2 tablespoons of butter. I have found that's the secret to Wendy's not using oil. They use butter. And as Julia says, you can't use too much butter, ever. This is a shout out to Sir Shank, my buddy on YouTube in comments from Ireland, who just made some potatoes from one of my potato videos. Thanks, pal. Chance to use one of my favorite kitchen gadgets. I gotta do a whole video on this, honey. 1 hour of sauteing, and this is what you get. It looks just right. And see this moisture that came out of the beef and the vegetables. That's all. I didn't add any liquid or any oil. The reason for this sauteing, by the way, is so that we don't burn them. Do them real slow. Plus, you put the tomato products in later because you can burn tomato sauce. If anybody's ever done that, you know what I mean. Now we're going to dump in our fine seasonings. This is your Wendy's chili secret here. All those ingredients we made a little while ago. We're going in with our tomato products. Now here's that secret we've learned in Lazy Man Test Kitchen. Good old-fashioned tomato juice with a hunk of butter. Bring everybody to a boil. That's when all your ingredients know it's party time. Then you immediately turn it down to low. Oops, I turned it off. Went the wrong way. All right, now turn it down to low and get her covered. Simmer for 30 minutes. Now you might be saying, Lazy Man, you forgot your beans. Nope. They're right here. The thing is, I've also learned that Wendy's, I think, does not overcook their beans. They're a little crunchy. And to get that effect, put your beans in at the end. Really just about 10, 15 minutes after you've done simmering the rest of it for half an hour. 30 minutes on saute. And now the beans at the end for 10 or 15 minutes.
It looks like Wendy's chili, and it tastes like Wendy's chili without even having to go to the drive-thru. You got that tomato juice and those ruby red kidney beans doing the job, folks. That's the main thing I found that gets close to that Wendy's taste. Put it in the refrigerator and heat it up the next day, and I swear I think it gets even better.